I have extra credit. We've all gotten that extra credit request, and some of us are like, well, you didn't do half the normal credit, or what about the regular credit? Extra credit is a really debatable topic in higher education. And that's the topic we're going to tackle today. Welcome back to Epic Higher Ed, where your epic classroom begins. My name is Dustin Backey, and today I'm excited to talk to you about how I approach extra credit in my classes and why I actually don't offer any and what I do instead of extra credit. So be sure to stick around. This is one of the topics that I get asked all the time about, and my students love it. Extra credit has a really powerful psychological effect on students, and the things they are willing to do to get extra credit are often astounding. One of my favorite extra credit stories is when students were asking for extra credit, and before I came up with the system that I am going to share with you in this video, there was students who wanted some extra credit. And so I made an opportunity available where I asked them to listen to an hour-long podcast and then write a 3-page reflection and connection on how that podcast connects to our course curriculum. I made it worth 10 points. Now, to give you an idea of where that 10-point scale fell within my class, a weekly homework or a weekly quiz at that point was worth 10 points, essentially 1% of the course. And those weekly quizzes at that point, I gave them 10 minutes to do it. The homeworks I would design maybe to take about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the week. That extra credit assignment, the 1-hour podcast with 3-page reflection and connection, I had more people do that than did that week's assignment. They're worth exactly the same. They both have the same contribution to students' grades. There is this huge, powerful, motivating factor behind extra credit, and if we are clever, we can harness that to get students engaging with the course material in a way that helps them meet learning outcomes without overinflating grades. And that's the system that I want to share with you today. There are a lot of arguments both for and against offering extra credit. Some people say, well, learning is full of pitfalls and full of failures, so extra credit helps make that learning safer, right? It can cover up for some of those mistakes. And other people say that extra credit overinflates grades, and that is rampant in higher ed. And wherever you fall on this spectrum, there's a lot of valid points to both sides. When I thought about this, I am a big believer in, learning is full of failures, and we need to support our students along the way and make failing safe. But that doesn't mean that we should just give them credit for nothing. I really don't think that students should get credit for nothing. And so I tried to think of a different way to approach extra credit and failing safely in my class, and I came up with what I call the token system. So the way that the token system works in my classes is that students have and earn these tokens, like little coins, like Mario coins, that they can use for various things throughout the semester. That's kind of the big overview, but to go more in depth, students do course-related things to earn tokens. So for example, I will do what I call weekly challenge questions, and these are really challenging questions that we do together in class on the course material. If students get it right on the first shot, they earn a token and assignment credit. So by going above and beyond my expectations, really diving into the material in an in-depth way, they can earn a token. These opportunities are scattered throughout, and I always start my students with 3 tokens at the beginning of the semester. So the only free tokens they get are 3 at the beginning of the semester, and because I know that works into my grading system. So what can students do with these tokens? In my syllabi, I have laid out a number of different options. Things such as excuse and absence. So I give them 3 tokens at the start of the semester, and I allow them to excuse missed classes with tokens. And this saves me from going into the, well, was it excusable and that whole debate. Well, do you have a token? Sure, use it, no questions asked. I will also allow them to turn in a late assignment. I do not accept late assignments unless you have a token. What this does is it kind of puts a cap on the number of late assignments. And so at the end of the semester, I'm not flooded with late assignments. And there's no questions asked. It's either on time for no token or late with a token. I also do things like redo a weekly quiz. So if they didn't get satisfactory on the weekly quizzes, they can submit a token to take or retake a weekly quiz. They can even revise portions of their exam. As you can kind of see, the really clever thing about this that I think is really clever, and so humble brag here, students have to engage in the course content, work towards meeting SLOs in order to earn tokens, and in order to get credit for it, it's not free credit, so they earned an opportunity basically to again demonstrate their course content knowledge. Redo a quiz, turn content in late, revise exam answers, and it's all limited. Because there's a total cap on the number of tokens that can be earned throughout the semester, I know that students have to pick and choose. They have to navigate their success on their own, and that is empowering to them to work within the system to succeed. How do I keep track of this? This is the messiest part of this system. In Blackboard Learn, our learning management system, there's no real easy way for it to automatically track things. On one hand, if an assignment is late, I just charge a token. So I tell my students, if you want to use a token to turn a late assignment in, just submit it late. I will see that it's late and I will deduct the token. Same thing with like redoing quizzes and that sort of thing. I also have exam revisions turned in at a specific time, and I know that each one of those that they revised is worth a token. That kind of cuts out a lot of the, can I use a token for this? Students just know how to do it. But I still actually do need to keep track of tokens and how they are used and communicate that to students. And the way I do this is just a column or 2 in my Excel spreadsheet. I have a column that says tokens earned, and I have columns following after it that I put opportunities, and then I just put a 1 next to the students who earned it. So it might be challenge question 1 and then a 1 next to it, and the earned tokens sum all that up. And then I have a tokens used column, and the most efficient way that I've found to do this is actually just keep a running total and create a little note on that cell that I put in what they use the tokens for. This way, if a student is ever like, hey, it says that I've used 3 tokens, where did those come from? Well, I can show that right there within their Excel, and I just copied those 2 columns to Blackboard so that students can see a running total of how many they've earned and how many they've used and how many they have available to spend. I would love to hear whether you use extra credit or offer it down in the comments below and what your thoughts are on it. I also humbly ask that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell notification if you found this topic interesting or it was helpful to you. That really goes a long way in supporting me as the creator. I also have some videos up here on the screen that I think you might enjoy. We'll see you next time.